Joining us now is Omar Kaywan, co-founder of Goose Insurance. He joins us from Vancouver. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
So a very good time, if you're thinking of traveling, to look at your travel insurance and what your coverage is. But what should you be looking for?
That's a great question. I think right now what we're dealing with in terms of these travel restrictions is ensuring that, if you are exposed to COVID-19 and if you have to quarantine and you have to or self-isolate and you're not within Canada, you have coverage, number one. And number two, because of these border restrictions and travel restrictions that are being put in place by your destination, if you must travel, it's ensuring that you protect your trip costs with COVID-19 as well, COVID-19 insurance as well. So we've had a lot of people contacting us. The Canadian government is advising you not to travel for any non-essential travel, but if you must, it's important that you travel with insurance and travel insurance specifically, obviously, for both medically as well as for your trip.
Okay, because we're so far into this pandemic, is that kind of detail now outlined very specifically in a policy?
It is. I mean, every single policy wording is different. We recommend all Canadians before purchasing any policies to review the policy wording. And if it's still not very clear, contact the agency that you're buying it from. Speak to a licensed insurance agent and ensure that you get all the answers that you need for the coverage. But, if you buy the COVID-19 insurance with Goose, for example, it is outlined within the Goose Insurance app and also the policy wording. And we also have licensed agents who can help you answer any additional questions you may have.
Okay, so you're looking for a couple of things, I imagine. You're looking for, if you in fact do test positive somewhere, that you're covered to extend a stay to isolate.
Correct. You're looking at a few things. You're looking at, if I'm traveling abroad and if I do get COVID-19, do I have insurance to cover me for COVID-19 specifically, as well as other, obviously, accidents or illnesses that may occur. But since we're talking about Omicron and being a very contagious variant, the number one priority for a lot of Canadians is and should be COVID-19 insurance in terms of the medical component to it. The other piece of it that you're looking for, if you haven't left on your trip, you're worried about, are we going to be further border restrictions and I've bought a non-refundable airfare traveling internationally? What will happen to the cost of my airfare? Again, this is something that, we can potentially cover with the Goose COVID-19 insurance. And the third piece is, if I do go to another country and I am exposed to COVID-19 and or test positive and I have to self-isolate and quarantine for 14 days, do I have the insurance to cover me for those medical expenses? For those accommodation expenses. And that's the other component that Canadians should be considering.
Yeah, worst case scenario, are you covered for the hospital visit or hospital stay, right, if your symptoms worsen?
Absolutely. And also, most Canadians, not most, pardon me, all Canadians are required to have a negative PCR test before entering. And the federal government is also increasing the testing when people do arrive at airports as well. So if you do test positive before getting on a plane and coming back home and you need to self-isolate, you want to make sure that you have insurance that will cover you for that as well.
Got it. Omar, appreciate you joining us on the program. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much for having me.